Awesome. Hey people, how's it going, guys? This is your boy, your teacher, your friend Casty here from Casspeak, back with another episode. And for today's episode, I think I'm talking a little lower right now, but let's try it again. For this episode, we're going to talk about how to say sorry in North America, or well, here in English. I mean, here in Canada. Anyway, so my first question to you guys, I want to start it off by asking you guys, how do you say sorry in your language, right? Do you guys say sorry all the time? Are there instances or situations wherein you say sorry, right? Because here in Canada, at least here in Canada, or I'm pretty sure in other countries as well, speaking English countries, we say sorry most of the time. Actually, it's not only when you've done something wrong, or maybe you made a mistake. So there are, I would say, places or instances where we say sorry. So what are they? So I guess the most obvious ones, one of the most obvious one is when we actually make a mistake. So we say sorry when we make a mistake. I'll give you an example. Maybe I was late. No, sorry, that's not a mistake. Maybe I forgot to add tomatoes in for the food that I'm cooking, and then that person knew that I forgot to put tomatoes in that food, whatever that food is, and I would just say, "Oh, it's a mistake. I'm sorry." So in that instance, and then you say sorry. Another one is when you did something bad. So this happens all the time when you are having a fight with someone. Maybe you've said something or done something, hopefully just said something, right? Wherein you went over the line, right? Or you've said something that is too much. So in that instance, you would say, I'm sorry, right? So that is another instance wherein you say sorry. Another one is when something bad happens to someone, let's say, or something unfortunate happens to someone, then you also say sorry. An example would be I failed my driving test, right? And I would tell it to my buddy of mine, and then I'll tell him that, hey, I just didn't pass that driving test, which is kind of sad, right? It happens quite a bit here in Canada, I would say. And then your friend would say, oh, I'm sorry about that, bud, right? I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry, for that thing happening. So that's another way of saying sorry here. Another one of saying sorry is when you're just really passing through, someone or two people having conversation. It's the same way as saying excuse me, right? So if I'm passing, through this two guys for talking, I'll just say sorry. It doesn't mean I did something bad. It's just sorry. It's just an excuse, right? Excuse me. It's the same thing with when you didn't hear something, right? If we're talking about the previous episode that I did about confirming understanding, when you didn't hear something, you also say sorry. And that is not necessarily because you said something bad, right? It's just saying, excuse me, I didn't hear that, so sorry. So that's another way of actually saying sorry. That's another reason why we would say sorry. What else? When you didn't hear what someone else said. And this is very common, I would say, for Canadians, and it's one of the stereotypes, for Canadians. We tend to say sorry all the time, just for anything, really. So at least, I guess, for a lot of people here, when you're taking their time, or maybe you're asking for a request, you would start it off most of the time with a sorry. So I'll give you an example. If I wanted to get salt or pepper, what have you, right? And a friend of mine is there, I'd just be like, I would say, sorry, could you just pass that real quick, right? So you start off by sorry. If you're asking your colleague to maybe check your work. You can say, because again, you're sort of like taking their time and you want to be polite, right? You want to be polite. And that is a form of hedging, or again, being careful. You're being polite to that person because you're taking that person's time. So you would ask your colleague, sorry, can you check my email real quick before I actually send this to our boss? You know, hopefully I didn't say it, you know, I don't say anything wrong or inappropriate. Hopefully not, right? But those are instances wherein we say sorry here in, well, in English. Now, how do you actually say sorry? That is the question. There are many ways, I wouldn't say a lot of ways to say sorry, but you can mix it up depending on one thing, I would say. Right now, I would say one thing. You'd say sorry depending on the, well, two things. The situation, of course. Second would be the degree or how big the sorry is. Now, I'm gonna explain it. What I mean by degree is like, or how big the sorry is the, how big was the mistake, or maybe how big was that thing that you've done or said, right? So for example, if you've done something bad, like really bad, then you would say sorry in a different way than maybe forgetting something. So if I forgot something, then I'll just say, oh, sorry. Or you can just say, oh, my bad, right? So I'm sorry, my bad. Or you can say, I apologize. Hey, sorry, I apologize. You know, I forgot the umbrella. Or you can say, oh, my bad, I forgot the umbrella. If it's something big, let's say you were late 30 minutes or you were late an hour for a meeting, then you would say sorry and add intensifiers. Intensifiers are those words that intensifies your actions, basically. So I would, just to make it simplistic for you guys, so you would say, I am so sorry. Or you can say, I am truly sorry. Or you can say, I am really sorry. You can say, I am very sorry, right? So you're adding those intensifiers because the degree or how big it was big. So you add those things. So that would be the easiest way to say sorry, I apologize. You can even add more into that depending on how sincere or how serious you are, and at the same time how, again, the degree and at the same time the situation is. For example, if you've done something bad, maybe to your girlfriend, to your partner, to your husband, to your wife, or to your close friend, and it was something big, then you'd say something along the lines of, I am very sorry, I didn't mean to. Or you can say, I'm very sorry, I shouldn't have said that. So when you say add those two things, I didn't mean to, and at the same time, I shouldn't have done that, or I shouldn't have said that, you're in a way being humble. You're being humble, you're regretting what you said, you feel bad about what you said, and you are, well, telling that person how bad you feel. Or you just don't really mean it, right? And you're being really sincere. That's the point of it. So you would say, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't have said you suck at cooking, right? I was very angry, so I'm so sorry. Then again, so you're adding all those phrases or clauses to make it more powerful, to make it more sincere to the person you're talking to. What else? Oh, right. So I just want to add one more thing. So when you're talking, or when you're saying sorry, you can also add, so that's one thing that I just said, like the longer version. And the other longer version would be, I'm so sorry for the action. Add a verb phrase to that. So I am sorry for, I'm truly sorry for shouting at you. So shouting at you. So after preposition for, then you would have a present progressive tense on that sentence for that verb phrase to finish it off. So I really apologize for mm, taking your chocolate, what have you, whatever reason that is, right? Um, okay, so you can say I didn't mean to, right? I said that already, and you can say I'm sorry. It was my mistake for, again, for verb phrase with a present progressive form. Now, 1 second. How do you actually answer, or how do you respond to sorry? There are many ways to answer or respond to sorry. One of which is it's okay, right? You can say it's okay, right? You can also say no problem, right? That's again, well, I guess that's one of the most common ones. No problem. You can say no worries. You can say no, don't mention it. It's okay. Or you can say it's all right, right? You can say, what else do I have here in my list? Yeah, those are pretty much the ways that you can respond. You can say don't. You can say apology accepted. So those ones are like short answers to respond to a sorry, right? You can make it longer again. I always in my videos I would have a longer version and also well a shorter version and also a longer version. The difference between those two things are quite nuanced. But one thing that you could think about is when it's short, it's maybe less informal. The degree is not that high. When it's longer, then the degree is higher, right? The sorry is big. And at the same time, when it's longer, then you're being a bit more sincere. You're being a bit more humble. So you can say, oh, it's okay. It happens, right? You can definitely say that. You can say, no worries, I understand. You can say, apology accepted. It happens to the best of us. Or you can say, I'm sorry. Sorry. You can say, no problem. Don't let that happen again. Things like that. So you're making it longer. Again, you can say, I understand. I got you. Don't worry about it. Don't mention it. It happens. Don't do it again next time. Things like that. So again, those are like the longer version. Again, you're adding sorry, it's okay, or no worries, or no problem, or apology accepted, and then you're adding those phrases as well. I think those are all the things I have for you guys. So again, in English, we use sorry all the time, right? It's funny. Oh, also, I want to point out when someone says sorry, right? When you're passing through someone, someone says, or when you're talking that someone passed through and they said, oh, sorry, you don't have to answer that. You don't have, there's no direct response, for that, because that person is just passing through. You don't say, no, it's okay. No, you don't do that. You just say, go ahead, pass through, go ahead. If someone is just passing through and they just want to pass by and they just said sorry, and then you just go, okay, go ahead. Or you just don't say anything. It's just a polite way of, us being polite because we're, passing through. If someone says, sorry, can you just pass me the salt over there? Sorry, could you just, grab that thing over there? Just say, okay, sure. That's it. You don't have to say, no problem. Or you can say, no problem. Yeah, no problem. Here. There you go. But again, those ones are different. Those stories are more courtesy, like you're being polite. That person who's saying sorry is just being polite. They're hedging, they're being careful, right? What else? I think those are all the things I have for the sorry. So we've covered how to say sorry, the different ways or different instances or situations wherein we say sorry here, and then responding to sorry. Any questions? Anyway, so with that done, I just hope everyone's doing well. I believe right now, as I was looking at the news today here in Ontario, or I think here in Toronto, we have at least let me just double check, at least 2,700 as of Thursday, April 2. We have 2,700 cases here in Ontario, so it's quite a lot actually. um, and it's quite scary. I hope it doesn't, get bigger like US. But for the most part, people, I mean, at least for us in the family, people are just staying in. How are you guys doing? I hope, again, you guys are well, you guys are safe, staying indoors. I wish everyone's responsible as we all deal with this, all of us. And yeah, hopefully we all get through this. Anyway, so that's it for today's episode. And if you like this episode, click the like button or comment or subscribe if you liked it. In the coming days, I will be posting a lot more videos, and hopefully I can see you all in my classes. It's going to be every Saturday from 10 till 12 p.m. Eastern time, so Toronto time. And hope to see you guys there. Have a great day, guys. Bye.